Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up today. Let's talk about Chris Brown's tour problems. Okay, they say that the Breezy Bowl has been in action since, he announced that he was going to be celebrating his 20 years in music. He decided that he would throw a Breezy Bowl, which meant that he was going on stadium tours around the country. This is right on the back of his world tour that he had just finished. He then decided to put this Breezy Bowl in action, and he is going around to the different cities, and this is all just strictly for the fans, and just celebrations of these 20 years. It seems that the tour has been wrought with problem after problem, and we've been seeing it on social media. His fans have been very vocal about. Now, we've seen that, we know that Chris Brown gives a fantastic concert. When all things go smoothly, he gives a very enthusiastic and lively concert. I mean, we've seen people say that this nigga just will not stop dancing. He will not stop singing. He will be up there for hours. He is giving the fans what they want, right? So when it all works out well, that's good. But when it doesn't work out well, and it seems to be more and more of the it doesn't work out well situations, that's what's giving people all of these issues. So first we heard about, we've seen him have some issues flying around in the stadiums, just like many other entertainers. I mean, we saw Beyonce having problems. We saw Katy Perry having problems. We've seen all of these people who never used to be up in the fucking air. Now all of a sudden they're having problems. Okay, shout out to Pink, because Pink, I remember she was the only one that used to do these things, and we all thought she was crazy. Now everybody is doing the shit. But Pink never had these kind of situations. At least if she did, we didn't see them. Okay. Anyway, getting back on track here. We've had problems with him getting around, flying around in the air. Of course, we saw when the people were complaining about this big ass, however many stories tall statue of Chris Brown, a la Michael Jackson. Remember when Michael Jackson in his video had the big statue of himself? And so kind of Chris Brown kind of took that and brought it into true fruition and would have it at his concerts. However, the statue was too big and it was blocking the view of some people. Some people were like, hey, Chris, okay, I know that you did your thing on that stage. However, we was looking at a fucking stomach for 15 minutes. Okay, we missed quite a bit of the show. And when you pay your money, and Chris Brown tickets are not cheap, and when you pay your money, you would like to see the whole thing. All right. Some of them said they couldn't even see the fucking Jumbotron. And so really, what are we doing here? Then here in Atlanta, at least, I know that they had a problem because they had his concert booked at Truist Stadium, which is where the Atlanta Braves play. And while that is a large stadium, it is not equipped for the amount of people that would have come to a Chris Brown concert without really working out the logistics. And it seems like the first night that they were here, that's exactly what happened. It was a mess. The traffic was bad. I mean, that traffic on that freeway is already bad without anything happening over there. So when the games go, the traffic is 10 times worse. So then when you have the amount of people that are coming to a Chris Brown concert, it doesn't work. Okay, so there have been those kind of issues all over the nation. Whoever was his booking company, his touring company and the production company and all of this stuff, apparently there weren't some meetings that needed to be had to make sure that these things worked out, right? So now that he's out there on the road, people are complaining about these problems. Chris Brown did acknowledge that there were a problem. He did put out a statement, and it says, Team Breezy, I see y'all reviews about difficulty at some venues with parking, seating, etc. Hope y'all understand this is my first stadium tour, so I don't know if the people in charge of that in the cities realize the capacity of people I would bring. Some cities ran smooth. This is the first time I've ever been in these venues. Appreciate y'all's concern. Unfortunately, I'm not in charge of that. Other than that, my shit is fire. Okay, he put a fire emoji. And then he went on to say, and whenever they cancel meet and greets, it's usually due to something security-wise or me actually needing to rest so I don't burn myself out. Hope y'all understand. Heart emoji. Now, listen, you guys know I like Chris Brown, right? I was happy that Chris Brown did acknowledge that there were problems out there on this tour, because the more and more we were seeing it on social media, there's really no way that you can deny it. People were complaining, right? So I appreciate when an artist realizes that the fan have a problem and they acknowledge that, okay? My issue, though, is that Chris Brown is not just like, who can I think of? Joe. I mean, you know, shout out to Joe. I still love Joe. But I'm just saying, Chris Brown he is at the stature of like an Usher. Like, you know, Beyonce and Rihanna, and then we got like on the male R&B, we have Usher and Chris Brown. They are the ones that are up at the high point, okay? And so, no, we don't accept that you don't have any, you know, you don't really know what's going on with everything, because at your level, you should be involved or have the exact right people in place to make sure that these things go right. You know, you can't like really, it's unacceptable to me for an artist at Chris Brown's stature to just be like, oh, well, you know, that's the producer. I mean, I get it. They've never done these venues. I know everything is a learning curve and everybody got to figure it out, right? But I think from here on out, he probably really needs to get more involved, because these kind of things are a reflection on your tour, and you know, you don't want to piss off your fans. Okay, so the man is only human, so I mean, I'm not super mad about it, but I'm still just like, no, Chris, that's not really the way to be. Now, he wasn't being an asshole when he said it, you know, and you know, he was trying to talk to his fans, so I got that as well. So I mean, that's fine. The problem that I had, though, and maybe somebody can clarify for me, is these meet and greets. Okay, now of course we don't want you to be having no meet and greet if it's a security issue. If something's going on and they can't secure you correctly, that's one thing. But when he said, because I might have to rest, you know, so I don't burn myself out, that's the problem. Because now, what are we talking about when we talk about these meet and greets? Now, if he's just talking about a meet and greet that's on just general, he just want to come out and hang with the fans and talk and everything, and some days he don't feel like he can do that, then that's one thing, and I understand. But if he's talking about these meet and greets that these people have spent money to see him, when, you know, we've seen Chris Brown, and you know, and we appreciate also the fact that when he does his meet and greets, he be all over his fans, and you know, whatever pose they want to do, he does it with them and all that. He has fun with his fans and everything. But so I'm hoping that he probably just means that, you know, this is when there's no money involved and it was just a general meet and greet that maybe he was going to come out. But if you're talking about a paid meet and greet where these people have spent $1,000, $2,000 and everything, I'm going to need you to suck up the tired and go do the meet and greet, because these people have spent their money. Was you tired when they spent their money, when they swiped that card? No, huh? You took that money with no problem. So what happens when you cancel a meet and greet where people have paid their money for it? Do they get their money back? Okay, again, he might not be talking about the paid meet and greets, and if he's not, then I understand, you know, maybe he can't do it. But I just needed to get the clarification of which was the situation here, because I would be pissed, and I don't give a fuck if I am in love with Chris Brown. If I spent $2,000 and he did not come to that meeting and greeting, then I'm gonna have a problem with that as well. So maybe we also need to sit down and understand what we can and cannot do in the scope of this full tour when we are talking to our, you know, when we're talking to our team, and what we can do so that you don't disappoint your fans, because now your fans is your fans. These are the people that buy your tickets, and these are the people that support you. So you need to be, you know, you need to also be the one that meets them halfway and give them what they paying for. So, you know, that's it. But I mean, I know that shit happens on tours. You know, people are human. People have mistakes. People, you know, stuff happens. But still, at Chris Brown's level, I'm not going to really give him as much of a pass as I would somebody that was in a lower level as Chris Brown, because Chris Brown now, he commands that audience. He can have record-breaking tour amounts as well. Like, he makes good money on those tours, you know? So, yeah. It might just be something that he needs to tweak. But I understood that the people was upset. I had understood that fully. Okay? So, yeah, that's it. That's it. We'll see how the rest of the tour goes. I mean, I know everybody that's going to it has been loving it. Okay, so I know he gives a phenomenal tour, but I just, I want it to be phenomenal for everybody that spent their damn money. All right, let's move on to the next story. All right, you guys, prayers are up for the Rolling Ray family. You guys know Rolling Ray. Mama named him Raymond Harper. Actually, his mother told us the other day, Mother Sazola Nay, she posted that he had passed. And I was just like, oh, that's really sad. But I knew that Rolling Ray had been having some health issues. I mean, first of all, he's been in a wheelchair since we've ever met him. They said that we met him in 2018. I didn't even know where Rolling Ray came from. Apparently, he was on Catfish, is where he started. And he made a splash on Catfish. I guess it was Catfish Trolls. So it was like one of the little flanker shows from Catfish or whatever. And from then he blew up and everything, and just his personality, even while he was in the wheelchair and he obviously could not get out. I don't know, what did Rolling Ray have? Was it like spina bifida or something like that? I thought that it was some sort of spinal problem. I tried to look it up and I couldn't really find anybody that actually said exactly what he had. I just assumed it was some sort of spinal injury or something like that. But anyway, yeah, people loved Rolling Ray, and he was funny. Okay, we remember seeing when him and Bobby Lights had that thing, and that conversation back and forth, and when he was just like, it never gave dead. He definitely had some one-liners and some moments that we all laughed and enjoyed. But I also knew that he was, so he had a few things. Remember, his wig caught on fire, and that burned him, gave him a pretty good, I don't know however many degrees, but they were serious injuries. He was very, very injured, and he was in the hospital for a long time. That happened, and then I think during COVID time, I think he had COVID, and he ended up falling into a coma. And so, he's had a lot of health issues. He's always been able to fight back and everything, but the longer that he would stay away and we wouldn't see him anymore, I was figuring that his illness or whatever he was suffering from was probably getting worse and worse and worse, because he would just every now and then like kind of peek out. We would see him. He might be, say something cute for the camera, and in retrospect, some of that probably took more strength from him just to be able to do something for the camera. You could just tell that the man was ill. And, yeah, after he had the COVID coma, the burns, and then, of course, whatever his original illness is, like all of those things compiled together, it was too much for his body. So he died yesterday, I believe it was, 2 days before his birthday. His birthday is tomorrow, which is today. If you're watching this when I first uploaded, Friday, September 5th. He would have been 29 years old. So just sad, you guys. I mean, yeah, just sad. I don't have anything else to say because I don't really know much more about him. But what I do know, I just think that's my heart breaks for that mother. Okay. So he was young. He was 28 years old. No marriage, no kids, nothing like that. But he leaves behind a lot of fans. Like I saw a video of these girls that saw him. He was somewhere in a wheelchair years and years ago. But these kids was so excited. I mean, you would have thought that Michael Jackson had walked in that room, okay, back in the 80s when we all was Michael Jackson fans to the heart, okay? That's how they were with him. So he's affected a lot of people, and a lot of people will miss him, okay? Rest in peace to Rolling Ray. All right, you guys, let's talk about Kelly Price. I'm going to need you guys to stay with me here, okay? Because you guys know how I feel about Kelly Price. Like, Kelly Price is not my favorite person. We used to watch her on, what was she on? R&B Divas, or was it R&B Divas? Yeah. Yeah, it was R&B. We used to watch her on the show, and she showed a side of us that I never was able to get over again. Like, once I saw how she behaved on that show, I was done with Kelly Price, okay? Eventually, I came around in some sort of way because I enjoy Kelly Price's music. I don't like Kelly Price the person, but Kelly Price the singer is fucking phenomenal. And she ain't did enough to make me mad enough for me not to listen to her music, all right? And that's how I like to be with people these days, because folks can sing, but they are horrible people, or they sucky people, or assholes, or bitches, or whatever, you know. But I still enjoy Kelly Price's music. Now, Kelly Price done rubbed us the wrong way plenty of times, plenty of time, all right? And that's also one of the reasons why I don't necessarily care for Kelly Price too much. But what I will say is Kelly Price, I don't never see Kelly Price. Like, she don't be in the blogs. I don't even be seeing her comments in the comments section. Like, I don't see Kelly Price really fucking with nobody, okay? Kelly Price doing whatever the fuck she do over on her Instagram or whatever she do over there, fine. But I don't really see Kelly Price really doing nothing to other people. And so my feeling is, if that lady ain't messing with y'all, why folks be messing with Kelly? See, the thing is, you can dislike somebody. You can dislike somebody, and you can see them even come across your social media feed, and you know what? You can just keep on scrolling. You don't have to say shit to people. And social media, I'm guilty as well. So I'm not just saying this to you guys because I've done it too. You guys have seen my comments in people's you know, on Instagram as well. But what I'm saying is, when you drop in on a comment on somebody and say something that you might have thought was clever or cute or funny, or maybe even a slight bit rude or something like that, that's just you doing that. But just imagine when people continuously, a lot of people do that, then that person can start to feel like they're being ganged up on. You think you just did it, but really there's a bunch of people that this woman is looking at these comments saying shit about her dress, her big feet, or whatever she said. Now, there's other stuff that she said, and the other shit that she's talking about, I'm not even talking about that. What I'm talking about is how people just talk real reckless about folks in the comments of their posts, and then expect for them not to ever want to say something back to people. And that goes each way, because if Kelly Price is out there upsetting people, then yeah, people are going to say that. But what my problem is that sometimes people don't be doing nothing, and then people will go on their page and antagonize them and say things to them. Now, maybe she was talking about a post where she did antagonize some people. And if that is the case, then, well, Kelly, you were saying all this shit. You didn't think nobody was going to respond to you, you know? So that's one thing. But if she was just over there minding her damn business, which I know you guys are going to be like, no, Roxanne, she wasn't minding her business because she said this, that, and the other. I don't know what she said that made her, like, what happened prior to her making that post where she's complaining about black women, complaining, you know, saying shit about her. Now, black women, I'm a black woman. I am a part of the club. I am a card-carrying member. So I know how we can be, okay? And so I just feel like maybe sometimes people could just give the girl a break, all right? If she didn't do shit to piss people off. Now, if she didn't piss folks off and said some shit, well, then it's coming. Because it's the same way like with Money Long. Now, Money Long is different in the way that Money Long says shit all the time. And you know, sometimes she's joking and not, but she can rub people the wrong way, and then people kind of will have a comment and come back for money. But Kelly, I don't see her doing that. At least she don't do that anymore. She may have been doing that in the past, but I don't know. I don't see her doing that no more. So I don't know, child. I just was like, just leave people alone. Just leave fucking people alone. It's so easy to just scroll on by if you don't like the damn girl. Because I don't like Kelly Price. And so if I see her usually on social media, I just keep it moving. I just keep it moving. But yeah, it can take its toll, you guys, when people always just got shit bad to say. But of course, people don't really like Kelly Price. And so, you know, everybody is just sort of like, well, you did this and you like this and da-da-da-da-da. But the bottom line is leave people alone. If she ain't did nothing to you, And that's not even just Kelly Price, just period. If somebody ain't did nothing to you, then don't go over there fucking with them. Okay? Let them be over there in their own miserable, mad, mean-ass life. Because, honey, that Kelly is... Anyway, okay? So, that's that on that. Let's move on to the next. Lastly, you guys, August Alsina and his man. I didn't get the boy's name. Let's add August Alsina and his boyfriend to the list while we talking about leaving people alone. Okay. Now, August Alsina, we knew him to be a heterosexual man. I mean, the man ain't never made an announcement that I am only heterosexual. We just assumed that that's what he was. Okay. And we've seen him in relationships and things like that, so we know that that's what he at least liked at one time. Okay. Well, right now, August on something else. And August has fallen in love with this man. You guys, they let us know quite a few times at this point that they love each other, they there for each other and all that. You know, they ain't said it flat out back in the past. This is my boyfriend, I'm his boyfriend, we together, we do this. They just was like, it's all about love, and we talk and we share each other's moments and all that, you know, real deep shit. But basically what it was is, hey, this my boo, this my man, and that's my man, okay? Well, apparently people were still, you know, giving the young man that's with August all this grief. So he decided to make a post. Now, I won't read the post, but the post was basically, listen, no, we never really made the announcement like that. But yes, me and August are together. That is my boyfriend. I love him. He loves me. You know, we do things together and blah, 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 blah. Okay? So he finally did put out the statement. I was cool with everything that he said. Now, towards the end of that conversation, though, or the end of that post that he made, where I kind of took a little pause is where he was like, but let me tell you guys something. I run this over here. I do what I want, and August does what I tell him to. That's when I was like, what? Wait a minute, what? Nigga, this is not the way that you're going to get the people on your side, okay? People love August Alsina. We don't know you. So you telling us that you run in August and that ain't the right way. Now, he tried to soften it up and be like, guess what? He does the same for me. But it was like, you made sure that you said that you run this shit. It rubbed me the wrong way. I'm going to give him a pass, though, because he probably was feeling ganged up on, and he probably was feeling defensive and having to say certain things. You know, sometimes when you feel defensive, you say shit that maybe if you really would have thought about it, you wouldn't have said it. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna give him that little space. But you're not gonna help your situation by pissing off August Alsina's fans by saying that you running him. Okay, I was all with it until you know, because everything up until that point was we are in this together. But you know, when you start wanting to put yourself up above something like that, then there was no need for him to do that. You know. He could have just very easily said, we love each other, we do these things together, and not I'll run this and all. No. So, yeah, that's the only thing. But, you know, August Alsina, I don't even know if August probably doesn't even consider himself gay. You know, there is a section of the LGBTQ community, I think anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm not in that community, so let me not try to tell you guys what's in y'all community, but it seems like there is a group of people who don't necessarily say that they are gay. This is just the person that they're in love with. Like how Niecy Nash is. She always says that, she don't say it no more. She doesn't ever really use the word gay, but she will say that this is the person that I fell in love with this time. Okay? So there's like variations within it, I guess. Again, I'm just asking because I'm not in the community, so I'm not making these assumptions, but I'm just saying, like, maybe August is like kind of how, what's the name I just said? Well, is, you know, Niecy, you just, this is who I am in love with, and maybe don't want to have all these labels. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt this time, but you say some slick shit again, and we're going to revisit this. Okay? All right. All right, you guys, that's that on that. I'm going to end this here. We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars, bye.